Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
What up, Week 16 NFL PSR Fantasy Live. I'm joined by my man Brady. Man, Brady, how are you feeling? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Feeling good, man. Happy holidays to you. Yeah, it feels kind of weird without MMA this week, but I was able to look into NFL a lot more. So hoping it's a good week here.
Bro, I feel like a homeless person on the side of the road without my moneymaker this week. So the NFL is gonna have to do, man. How'd you do last week? I should say.
Well, I did really good in cash. I was able to double up there, but a single entry, I was like 3 points away. Little mistakes here or there, so hopefully get it back next week. But I guess the bottom line is you got to hit in cash, and I did that. So not a big week, but hitting cash, I can't complain.
Yeah, I feel you. I made it out a little bit on GPPs. Ended up, I think it was the Showdown slate Sunday night. Actually, no, not the Showdown slate Sunday night. One of the Showdown slates ended up making me some bread. But let's get into this week's slate. First quarterback that we're going to talk about of the slate is going to be the highest priced quarterback of the slate, Patrick Mahomes, man. If you guys haven't heard about the news, the two biggest pass catchers for Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce and fucking Tyreek Hill, is going to be out. Usually I don't like to pay up for Patrick Mahomes, but man, with the value that could be potential with the Mahomes stacks, you might have to, Brady. You might have to. Are you going to go with Mahomes or are you going to go with Josh Allen as your pay up quarterback this week?
No, I think it would be Mahomes, and you mentioned a good point. Like, it's going to be so easy to stack up the Chiefs, and it's typically really hard to do that. So I think we got to take advantage of it. If Kelce and Tyreek Hill are indeed out, I think that opens up a lot of things. New England's defense has given the least amount of DraftKings points to opposing quarterbacks, so I don't know how too high I'm going to be on Josh Allen. On top of that, it looks like Beasley's going to be out as well, which kind of hurts, but I think Mahomes for me, but Josh Allen's not a horrible play as well.
Yeah, I kind of like that price tag at $8,500. We'll probably do some deeper research about the matchup and stuff like that because New England does have a lot of players out on COVID, but we got to see what their defensive relevancy. I can't even say that word. Whew, that is a word right there. But I think the other quarterback to look into could potentially be Thomas Brady, $8,400. He's been one of the more consistent quarterbacks pass attempts wise all year. And, you knock out Chris Godwin and potentially Mike Evans, man, and you bring back Antonio Brown. For their real life team, that probably hurts them. For us daily fantasy players, that helps us identify the target usage a little bit easier. So I kind of like Brady as my preferred quarterback pay up option, but I don't know with him and Mahomes yet. We'll probably have a couple of days to sort that out with. But what are your thoughts on Brady?
Yeah, there's one of his weapons that we'll talk about. You already mentioned him. Antonio Brown probably is one of the best plays on the entire slate. It looks like he practiced limited today. So, yeah, if Brown does come back, he is way too cheap, $4,900. So that does interest me in maybe a potential Brady stack with Antonio Brown. I think it's going to save a lot of salary there. So I'm with you there on Brady. Another guy that I do like, 7,200, Justin Herbert going against Houston. Great matchup here. The thing I like about Herbert is he's very, very consistent. He's had at least 20 DraftKings points in his last 5 games, averaging 25.2 DraftKings points. Love the matchup. Consistent player, underrated, and easy stacking options as well with Allen, and then also Mike Williams as well.
I thought you were talking about my boy Jalen Hurts, not Justin Herbert, man.
Him too.
Hurts season, baby. Jalen Hurts is about to eat this week against these New York Giants. They ain't giant nothing. They're giant piece of crap because Jalen Hurts is about to run up all over them and look like the second coming of Mike Vick in the Eagles jersey, man. I love me some Jalen Hurts this week, though. All jokes aside, Jalen Hurts has been absolutely dominating in the rushing game. The passing floor hasn't been too shabby. Last week was a great matchup against Washington, but he gets another great divisional matchup this week against the Giants. Are you going to get to some Jalen Hurts, or are you going to go with your guy, Justin Herbert?
Yeah, I'm actually really upset that Hurts was not on the main slate last week because I was all over him. I was going to stack him up with Goddard, and that would have been very, very nice. But as we know, that game got changed to a Tuesday. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, like you mentioned, I think is a great option here. Probably way too cheap against the Giants. He is, as of now, in my cash lineup, so I like him a lot.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. The only other quarterback I was looking at in the mid-range was the fill-in for Lamar Jackson last week, Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley was in the perfect lineup, the Millionaire Maker lineup, and the Fantasy Championship lineup. Do you think you're going to go back to the well with Tyler Huntley this week against Cincinnati? It's a good matchup, but do you think he could strike lightning twice?
I think he could potentially. If he does play, I'd be more interested in one of his pass catchers, Mr. Mark Andrews. Made a big mistake not playing him last week. I think Andrews had almost like 40 DraftKings points. So I don't think I'll get there from a quarterback standpoint. But if he does play, I'm looking at Andrews there.
Dude, I was so pissed. Tell me how my best single entry team was an Aaron Rodgers stack with Devontae Adams and Lazard. And I brought it back with Andrews when I should have played Huntley just straight up, and I would have probably won the tournament. That was a little bit heartbreaking for me. But, last week was a good week, though. Going down a little bit more in the quarterback player pool, the value quarterback I was looking at. So before you kick me off the stream, hear me out.
Don't say Davis Mills.
No, this is the best quarterback matchup on the slate. My man's been getting a lot of heat in the media. Free my man Trevor Lawrence, man. They don't think he's a good quarterback, Brady. Is this the week to play Trevor Lawrence at $6,500? We've been barking this Laquan Treadwell bandwagon all the way to the perfect lineup last week. If you played Laquan Treadwell last week, he won you a fucking $1 million, man. Do you think lightning could strike twice again with Trevor Lawrence to Laquan Treadwell stack?
Yeah, I actually do like Treadwell this week, but no, I did not think of Lawrence there. But I will have some Treadwell.
You could go Trevor Lawrence with the Treadwell and Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones might come in at some low ownership, busting up at chalk last week. Or, Brady likes to go with his dirty tight end route.
Yes.
He's the dumpster diver when it comes to the tight end route. So you can go Trevor Lawrence, Laquan Treadwell, and your boy O'Shaughnessy, and then really have all the savings to pay up for your Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson stacks and stuff like that. So there's different ways to go about the low quarterback price tag of Trevor Lawrence this week that might be able to open you up some stacks. But is there any other quarterbacks you're looking at on the slate?
No, I think you might have sold me on some Lawrence. I mean, I like that O'Shaughnessy stack there. But yeah, Joe Burrow would be the other guy. I mean, he's just way too cheap. 5,900. Great matchup against Baltimore. This price tag really does not make sense. It's the first time he's been this cheap since like week 2. So, don't mind some Joe Burrow at this price tag.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at Joe Burrow. He was popping to my optimizer at $70,100. But I think from like just a market thing, I don't know why I want to do this, but Captain Kirk, man. Captain Kirk has been playing some good ball of recent. He kind of looked bad against Chicago, but we kind of prepared for that with playing Justin Fields over Cousins a little bit. But, I mean, he's had 2 passing touchdowns in like 9 weeks straight, Cousins. So, I mean, that's like the literal perfect double stack potentially. It could be Cousins to Jefferson with the obvious run back of Cooper Kupp and another Rams wide receiver. So I feel like Cousins isn't a name that's going to pop in the optimizer, but he might be a name that will pop in your GPPs just off the game stacks alone. But let's go over to the running back position. Who is your preferred pay up running back on the slate?
So it looks like Austin Eckler has been placed on the COVID-19 list. If he does end up playing, then I really like Austin Eckler against Houston here. If he does not, that's going to open up some punt running backs, but it would be Eckler if he does play. Looks like there is a chance he can, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think Austin Eckler is going to play with that whole entire COVID IR thing. They've been, I don't know. We'll be back on Friday to talk about it a little bit, but the other running back that I was looking at, he had a down week last week was Najee Harris. against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs have been bottling up running backs of recent, but I do like the price tag at $8,400. Could be a contrarian play compared to his ownership last week. And James Robinson, too. Since we're on the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars train, man, James Robinson was actually used like the James Robinson that we thought that we were going to get in the fantasy draft season, 18 rush attempts and 6 targets, so over the 20-touch mark. And if he gets 20 touches against the New York Jets, man, Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be on the slate this week, man. They're going to be in my player pool, and James Robinson is one of those Jaguars. But Brady, what other running backs were you looking at on the slate?
Yeah, you mentioned Najee Harris. I don't mind some Dalvin Cook as well up top, but yeah, James Robinson, probably one of my favorite plays on the slate. I mean, you got the New York Jets have given up the most DraftKings points to opposing running backs, so phenomenal matchup. Like you mentioned, they finally used him correctly last week. He had 6 targets, 18 rushing attempts. Like you said, if he gets that against the Jets, I think he's going to have a phenomenal game, 20-plus points there. Somebody else that does stick out, David Montgomery going against Seattle. Seattle's going to be the second most DraftKings points to opposing running backs. Really like the matchup. He's really, really cheap. So, yeah, in that range, I really like James Robinson. I really like David Montgomery. And then one more guy I'll throw out is going to be Ronald Jones, the second. Ronald Jones, the second. It's because Fournette is going to be not playing. He's doubtful as of now. And you're getting the starting running back, not the best matchup against Carolina, but he's very, very cheap.
Nah, Brady, I definitely do agree with you. Ronald Jones is my preferred early week value play of the week. You could be a potential free square at $5,400, but we're going to have to pay attention to some Coach B with Bruce Arians because, for the deep dynasty owners, Keyshawn Vaughn, baby, he's still alive. He's still chucking back there, and he's probably going to be the third down back because he is the receiving down back of that backfield. But the only other running backs I would be looking at in that price range, a little bit up more expensive, maybe going back to Joe Mixon could be the way to go in GPP, $7,500. He kind of busted up at chalk last week, but the touches were there, man. He got 17 rush attempts in that game. If he can get 17 rush attempts in a better game script against Baltimore at home, maybe he'll get the job done. And then the other running back I was looking at, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's going to have to be used in the passing game a little bit with all the injuries that just happened with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So don't be surprised if you see the Kansas City Chiefs go with a more run-heavy game approach script. And the Steelers' defense has been a matchup that we've been absolutely hammering running backs up against. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire is one of my favorite mid-range plays. Him and David Montgomery would be the two mid-range plays that really stood out to me. And then you alluded to this a little bit earlier before we got deeper into the running back part of the slate, was that Austin Eckler is going to be out for this one. So this is going to pop up our boy Justin Jackson here, $5,400. He's going to be the starting running back for the Los Angeles Chargers against the Houston Texans. So I love me some Justin Jackson at that price tag, $5,400. And I don't even know his DraftKings price tag because this news literally came out probably like 20 or 30 minutes before we went live in the video. So I didn't even check on that. But is there any other running backs on the slate, or I feel like we went over all of them, right?
Yeah, Jackson's 4,200. So yeah, if Eckler is out, that's going to be like a smash spot there, especially against Houston as well. But yeah, I think we covered about everything. I have a feeling like things might open up like they have been throughout the week. So we'll touch back on Friday. But as of now, I think this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, I think that's a good little position to leave off at. So let's go over to the wide receiver position. The wide receiver position is pretty straightforward. If you want to pay up for Cooper Kupp, you got to do it, man. $9,800, man. And, maybe some people don't want to pay up for Cooper Kupp. They might see the skin complexion and the hair and just think that he's just not that good of a football player. But, man, Cooper Kupp has been absolutely smashing. Look at these numbers, bro. That is literally Madden numbers. Look at these receiving yards, 136, 123, 129, 96, 122, 95, 115, 156, 130. Cooper Kupp, you just got to put him in your lineup, man. Just don't not fade Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is the best play on the slate by the widest of margins, and he's going to be in all my lineups. How about you, Brady? Who are you paying up for at the wide receiver position besides Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, I know it's weird saying a $9,100 player is a free square, but Cooper Cup is a free square. The best possible matchup you can get against Minnesota. See, I'm right there with you. It's going to be Cooper Cup and not really anybody else. I guess the second guy I'm looking at is going to be Keenan Allen against Houston. Don't mind some Herbert Allen stacks there. But yeah, it's Cooper Cup. He's going to be in pretty much every one of my lineups as well.
Yeah, if you want to pay out for Justin Jefferson, you can. Potentially, you might deal with some Jalen Ramsey coverage, but I'd probably be more inclined to play Justin Jefferson if Adam Thielen were to be in, just to bottle up some of that coverage. But the other guy that I could really probably pop up real here in I would say the high tier range. Depends on if Mike Evans plays or not. We're talking about him and Antonio Brown. Mike Evans did not practice Wednesday due to a hamstring injury, so that's something that we're going to have to monitor throughout the week. But, cover boy of the video, you know what they say, man. A couple injuries come out, and they say, don't call God, call AB. And AB shows up at practice on Monday. He was listed as a limited participant, and then Bruce Arians gets done to practice, and he says, to be honest with you, Antonio Brown looks absolutely fine and just exactly healthy as he left off. And, maybe Antonio Brown with the added games onto the season, he's a little old school, man. He wants to show up for 5 weeks and then come back for the last 5 weeks of the season. Antonio Brown, if he's there on the field, I'm playing him $7,000. Antonio Brown, probably going to be playing a prop on him. Antonio Brown is probably my favorite wide receiver of the whole entire slate. Brady, am I a little bit crazy for saying that with him first week coming back?
No, I'm right there with you. He's my favorite play on the slate as well. 4,900 on DraftKings. That's nuts considering in week 6, his last game where he scored 24 DraftKings points, he was 5,900. This is going to be the cheapest he's been all year. And on top of that, you're missing Chris Godwin. If he does play, which it's looking like he's going to, he's almost a free square.
Yeah, man. He's definitely my preferred best wide receiver play of the slate. But Brady, what other wide receivers are you looking at here in this mid-tier?
Well, this is an interesting one. I believe you've been calling this one the past couple weeks as well. It's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. This guy is. I know the Lions are not great, but he's actually pretty dang good, and he's going against Atlanta this game as well. He's had back to back good games. Great matchup against Atlanta, his best matchup in the last couple weeks. So yeah, I think I'm on the Amon-Ra St. Brown train, man.
Brady, man, I thought I had the perfect fucking lineup, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown was one of the guys in that lineup, man. And we actually faded Devontae Parker and played Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that was the way to go, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to absolutely smash again this week, man. Gets another good matchup. I'm all on board the Amon-Ra St. Brown bandwagon. Other mid-range wide receivers in this price tag range that kind of stood out to me, DK Metcalf against the Chicago Bears. $6,700. You saw what Justin Jefferson did to that secondary. The Bears secondary has been a secondary to attack. We'll get into some stats about that on Friday. And then the LA Rams receivers, Odell Beckham Jr., Van Jefferson, and then Marquise Brown. Hollywood had double-digit targets with Huntley last week. He kind of found the chemistry with Huntley. And then Devontae Smith, my Eagles boy, $5,900 is going to go with your Jalen Hurts stacks. But was there any value wide receivers that really popped up to me? Because I got a bunch of these value wide receivers that were standing out.
No, you just touched on the ones I'm looking at. I'm looking at Metcalf, 6,400. I'm looking at Lockett. If he does play, looks like he's going to 6,700. You mentioned the Rams wide receivers, Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham Jr. I like those as well. And then I like your boy Laquan Treadwell as well. He's sitting at 3,600 on DraftKings, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of value wide receivers on DraftKings and FanDuel this week. Like you said, Laquan Treadwell would definitely lead the way in my personal love, but I think the projections are probably going to go with McCole Hardman, Brian Pringle, and Demarcus Robinson, with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill both being out. Tyler Johnson can also pop up if Mike Evans were to miss. Gabriel Davis is probably going to look good without Cole Beasley. He was the cover boy of the video last week. And Josh Reynolds has also been getting it done. So if Amon-Ra St. Brown becomes one of the chalkiest players on the slate, I might be taking the ownership leverage with Josh Reynolds because he's also been smashing as well. But let's go over to the tight end position. This one is short and simple. Well, who are your favorite tight ends of the slate? Because there's really not a lot of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, so if Lamar Jackson does not play, it's going to be Mark Andrews. I mean, what he's done with Huntley is unbelievable. 38.6 DraftKings points last week. If Huntley plays, it's going to be Mark Andrews for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely do feel you. Look at those stats with Mark Andrews. Big Show. I hope you're not watching the video, man, because you might have lost that bet. Because Mark Andrews is absolutely smashing right now, and I'm going to be probably playing some Mark Andrews my damn self with you. Huntley for MVP, right?
There you go. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but one of the guys that we did not talk about in the Brady stacks in the Tampa Bay team was, this could be the week, man, that Rob Gronkowski wipes off the cleats and gets it done in the pass-catching game, receiving-wise, not in the touchdown department. $6,700. Do you think this is a Rob Gronkowski week with all those injuries? Brady goes to over-reliable?
Yeah, I mean, since Godwin's out, a couple other guys beat up as well. I think it definitely could be Rob Gronkowski week. The only thing is, this is going to be the most expensive he's been all year, which I don't really like. And on top of that, it's not the best matchup in the world, but I think Gronk's going to eat.
Yeah, it's crazy that you said this is the most expensive that he's been, and he was my top point per dollar tight end. But it's still early in the week on Wednesday. But the other guy that I was looking at was Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox and Cole Beasley, they both kind of run the same type of route tree. And without Cole Beasley being in there, Dawson Knox could definitely smash, man, leading the tight end so far this year in receiving touchdowns. So kind of like me, some Dawson Knox on this slate. But was there any other tight ends that kind of stood out to you, sir?
Yeah, just those ones at top. And other than that, I'm just going to be punting down at tight end if I need to. Jared Cook against Houston, 3,500. O'Shaughnessy, 3,200 against the Jets. Great matchup. And then Cole Kmet, great matchup against Seattle. So I do like those three guys in the 3K range. But I really do like the guys we talked about up top, Gronk and Mark Andrews especially.
Yes. Before we get on out of here, though, my second favorite point per dollar tight end was Dallas Goedert, $5,900. Jalen Hurts stacks are popping this week. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert could definitely be the move. Run it back with Saquon Barkley as a low-owned run back option. That might be one of the preferred methods I might go. But I'm going to probably keep my tight ends within the stacks that I'm going to play with my quarterbacks this week. But Brady, where can they find you at? Nice little preview video, man. It's happy holiday season. We're coming in on here for Christmas Eve, right? Friday?
I don't think I'll be able to make it unless we can do it like a time change. But yeah, we'll have to see about that.
Change it and just premiere it at this time.
Yeah, that could work.
Like the day before or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. No UFC, so I'm kind of chilling, kind of trying to get ahead a little bit, and then doing some NFL as well. Catch me on Pub Sports Radio for the next month on Wednesdays and on Fridays.
Yeah, baby. Brady's getting knees deep into this NFL season. We got a nice couple of weeks to grind out the season. Hopefully one of us two could be $250,000 winners and bring it home for Pub Sports Radio, baby, because we got to get another Millie winner in here. But till next time, till Friday, we out, Chase.